After so many years, hounded by hatred and trapped by fear, I'm in a box. I've got no place to go. If I follow my mind, I know I slaughter my own. Help me, I'm the prisoner. Won't you hear my plea? I need somebody, yeah, to listen to me. I beg you, brothers and sisters, I'm counting on you, yeah.
Greetings, welcome, peace and love. Welcome again to the N.E.P.P.C podcast. I'm Brother Frank, and I'm here to bring you the news about Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition, about how do we relate to the idea of political prisoners. So this weekend in Crown Heights, Curb Fest was held by HOLLA and the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition. And it was incredible. The community took control of our culture. We let the community know that, political prisoners need to be recognized. We need to struggle. We need to fight for them. We need to do what is necessary to raise our community's consciousness about them. It was incredible when you think about what people can do when they put their minds together, when they set aside their differences and focus on the bigger picture. I was taken back by what I seen, the music, the culture. They had a program, a workshop rather, that was designed to write to political prisoners. You had all age groups participating in that, and it let me know that, wow, that's something that we can do. It's always something that we can do. I know I met up with Jalil Abdul-Muta King, and I made sure I got his book this time. A brother by the name of Abe. He gave me a couple of dollars, $10 actually. I had $20, and I was able to purchase the book, and I got it signed. He signed it for me. So that's another book to my collection, and it made me feel very strong and empowered because to see somebody who did so many years in prison to be out amongst the people, organizing the people, and raising the people's consciousness regarding what's against us, which is a system of oppression, a system that continues to create more problems for people and find ways to capitalize on those problems, right? We know the reason for homelessness. We know the reason for increase in mental health crisis. We know the reason for police terrorism and for a number of people of African descent, people of color, to be victims of police brutality. We know why that's in play. But we also know that there's some people that have been fighting and there's some people that continue to fight. Some of us who are fighting know that we have to continue because there's a generation behind us. I know that when I experienced what was done in Crown Heights, to be exact, it was at Jama Health Food, right? Jama Health Food. That's at 406 Utica Avenue. So if you happen to be in that area, support that's brother, because it's incredible. If you really health conscious, that's the place to be. We got to support businesses that support our causes, and that brother definitely did it. That family, that business definitely did it. So Black Power, salute to them. Whenever I'm in the area, I'm gonna make sure that I spend my hard-earned money with them. We got to recognize them and recognize what they've done. Before that, I was involved with the Vegan Fest in Queensbridge, the biggest public housing. Sugar Ray, the top organizer on this particular event in the community, brought it actually to the courtyard. A number of things happened. We danced. I had a number of tables that were geared towards the interests of a community, and that experience was empowering. We sat in the middle of the courtyard and had sound healing. My brother played the flute. We meditated. It was a lot. It was a time that it was allowed for us to quiet our brain. As organizers, professional organizers, we continuously struggling with our ideas. What are we going to do next? How are we going to get done what needs to get done? And that was what we were doing. And I had the opportunity to be a part of it. And with these two events, Curb Fest in Crown Heights, that occurred Saturday, Vegan Fest that occurred August 31st. You witnessed consciousness at play, right? People were not being conscious for the sake of being conscious, not simply talking about, there's political prisoners, that the system is attacking our heroes, the system is creating more martyrs, the system is doing X, Y, and Z, and not organizing or doing anything about that, because that's just engaging in entertainment. You're just stimulating your mind and stimulating the mind of others through dialogue that's geared on what you read or what you were told. You just regurgitate it. But to be conscious and act in an organized manner, that's to take consciousness to another level. That's to be accountable. And these two events, these two community events, the community controlled the culture. We were expressing a culture of accountability. What does that mean, a culture of accountability? It means that you are responsible not only for the actions of yourself, but you are responsible for how your actions affect the community. The next generation that's looking at you as a role model, whether you want to accept it or not, you're asking yourself, what am I doing to impact this person's life? Am I helping or am I hurting? There's only one or two positions to take as regards to the advancement of your community. You're either hurting or helping. And at Curb Fest, we were helping the community. We aiding the community. We were raising the community's consciousness. We were letting the community know this is what accountability looks like. We are the advocates of community control, of community accountability, of culture accountability. We stand on strong, righteous principles. And that didn't just fall out the sky, right? It didn't just fall out the sky like raindrops or snowflakes, but yet it was developed, right, through different stages. And it was taught to us by those who came before us. People like Imam Jamil Al-Amin, he's not an ancestor yet, but he was doing this work before us. He let us know the violent nature of America, and he let us know the seriousness of what had to be done in terms of fighting for our own self-determination. Mumia Abu Jamal, he's not an ancestor, but he's wrote a number of books. And in these books, he laid out what was happening to our people and why. He gives you a historical analysis of what's been happening and for how long, and what some people did in response to being attacked, in particular the Black Panther Party and the Black Liberation Army, and how they organized and how they stood the test as long as they could. But they were accountable in their lifetime, and we likewise have to be accountable in our lifetime. How do we respond to the attacks on our community? What are we doing? So that's why at Curb Fest, when we were talking about political prisoners, and Ya and Santiwa did an incredible job hosting, letting people know who we were, letting people know the importance of our political prisoners, letting the people know about Sekou Odinga, his legacy, his origins, and his life of commitment and sacrifice. I think that was incredible. Right? She had us on the stage, on what was made up to be a stage, and let the people know who the Northeast political prisoners are, and also the Sekou Odinga Committee. defense committee who they were, and we all stood in solidarity, and we all understood our task at hand to continue the legacy of Sekou Odinga. You know, that was a brother who his life was incredible. The sacrifices, the commitment he made, and I remember him. You know, because I built my own relationship with him through conversations, through aiding him where he needed to be aided. Not that that's something that I should be praised for. That's something I'm supposed to do, right? He's recognized as one of our freedom fighters. Yo, go help that brother. Give him what he need. Your time is not as important as his time right now because of what he's done. And you have yet to make that level of commitment. So therefore, make that sacrifice. See what the brother's up to, see what he needs done, aid him. That's the mindset that was needed to have. And it was very important that that's needed to have because of what's at stake, right? We're talking about who we are and what needs to be done and why it needs to be done. So at Curb Fest, we continued that legacy. We made sure his picture was up there. We had a number of information out there. We had QR codes available so people could scan. The brother Jalil Abdul Muthaqim had his book. He signed it, and now this is a must-have, right? Our children just started school. What's going to be available for them? This should be one of the books, right? If you're a part of the PTA, make sure you have input on the curriculum. Let the school know that this book should be picked up because we are our own liberators, right? You can't get no more clear than that. Sundiata Akoli, he was there. He gave me this book before he was available to talk to people. He received a free haircut and a whole lot of love, right? And I think that was rightfully earned. And that is what we're supposed to do. Because if we don't do it, how do we expect to raise the consciousness or get others involved who should be involved, right? We want to tell people, yo, listen, if you have a problem with what's going on in your community, what are you doing about it? You need to be involved. You need to take a position. You need to get off the sidelines. You need to really be active. Act like your life is valuable, right? The only way you're gonna act like your life is valuable by what you decide to do with your time, right? Time is our most valuable and most precious asset, and we have to really understand that very clearly. We can't play around with time. That's why we have to watch what we engage in, even watch the conversations we have, right? Because some conversation is meaningless and it just wastes a lot of useful time that could be spent doing other things, organizing your people to do more for our community. Just imagine if we put our minds together, how much Curb Fest we can produce, how much vegan festivals we can produce. But we have to accept our role in terms of organizing. We have to accept our role in terms of the actual manifestation of an idea materializing, right? Being brought forth to our community, right? If I'm asked to get some water, I'm going to get some water. I'm not going to say, why me? Why can't you send somebody else? Or if I'm asked to get a table or bring some tables, a generator, some chairs, or have somebody cook some food, I'm not going to ask, why can't you do it? I'm asked to do it. So if that's the case, then, that's what I should do. And I should do it with pride. I should do it with, wow, I'm making a contribution. I am standing on principle. I am valuable to something that's really bigger than me, right? Because, I'm 50, I'm about to be 51. How much time do I have left? Not to put anybody on alarm who's my age or even older, but think about your legacy. What did you stand for? What were you involved with? I remember having a former coworker, and I'm asking him about the time that he was a youth, right? That was a time in the 60s and the 70s when the Black Panther Party was alive and kicking. And he said, I wasn't with none of that. And, I looked at him, I didn't look at him in a disrespectful way, but in my mind, I'm like, damn, he's part of the problem. He was part of the continuation of the problem. His inactivity did not have any, in fact, any benefit off our community. And, he was able to say that like it was nothing. And I think that we need to look at ourselves and look at the youth. And that's why at Curb Fest and at Vegan Fest, it was so beautiful to see our youth there playing, engaging each other, asking questions. They're taking mental note. So if you are a teenager or you even younger than that, during that time of Curb Fest, during that time of Vegan Fest, just imagine the impact it's going to have when you're an adult and as you get older than that, and what you took from that, and what are you going to give to your children or your loved ones, or even people in your community when they start complaining about the communities being bad or getting bad, and they need to get out of there and go someplace else, right? I'm always walking through my community. I'm looking at the so-called projects, public housing, and I'm looking to myself. I'm like, wow, we don't see the wealth that we have. We don't see the value that we have. Some of us, I can't speak for everybody, but some of us. And I'm thinking about how other people will come to our community and look at our community and say, oh, I got plans for this community. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And they'll just say, excuse me to the drug dealers, excuse me to the addicts, excuse me to those people who are completely removed from their interaction with their community. And they're looking at making an assessment of the community, deciding what they're going to do when they have a hold of the community. And before you know it, the drug dealers removed. Before you know it, the addicts is removed. And before you know it, you're removed. And now their plan comes to fruition. Now they start doing things, and you start coming back to your community, and you don't even recognize your community because somebody took more responsibility in organizing your community than you did. And that's what we have to think about. Know the value of your people, know the value of your community, get involved, do something, take action, step up. Don't ignore responsibility, and if you need some help, ask those who are doing the work. Don't be afraid to be taught. Somebody taught Sugar Ray how to organize a Vegan Fest. Somebody taught Holla and the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition how to organize Curb Fest, and we were students. We wanted to know. And now we have experience, and we could share that experience with others so they can get involved. I didn't have no role actually in the organizing of Curb Fest, so I can't take no credit for that. I was just there to help out where I was allowed to help out. So for those who allowed me to help where I was able to be useful at, I appreciate that. And I appreciate those who were mainly responsible for the organizing work. It was because of you that our community were made known about the value of political prisoners, that we would not forget about them, that they sacrificed for us. And the least we could do is sacrifice some time, talk about them, write them a letter. I'm just thinking about what letters were being written to and the impact it'll have on a political prisoner when they receiving those letters. Just imagine receiving a letter from a child and a family, because that's one of the things I did. When I was writing to Jalil Abdul Muhtar King, when I first got involved in work to free U.S. held political prisoners, I wrote them myself. Then I had my son write them, and it allowed me and my son to bond even more. And that's something that I feel very proud. Actually, talking about that makes me rather emotional. But that's a part of life. You have to analyze what you have done, the impact is going to have on somebody else, and the fact that you have to continue to do that particular type of work, because that's what's necessary to produce that change, that reality, when it's about our family and our community moving forward, right? So for those who are tuning in right now, wherever you're at, please share with at least 10 people. Let's talk. You have any questions that you would like to ask me, give me a comment. Let me know. So this way we can have continuous dialogue. And for those of you who are interested in supporting and helping the work of the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition, please contact me at 347-679-3936. If you're interested in donating, please cash at me at SefuSankofa, SefuSankofa. And please, if you donate anything, let me know specifically what you want the money to be done with, so I can show you some pictures about the money being used for that particular task. If it's to go to a particular political prisoner, please let me know. You need an address to a political prisoner, please let me know. I make that possible for you. If you want any updates on political prisoners, please let me know. I make that available to you because that's the platform of the Northeast Political Prisoners Coalition, is to raise awareness about political prisoners and let people know that there are a number of organizations that are involved with the work to free U.S. held political prisoners. Jericho Movement is one of them. Free Mumia is one of them. We also got Prison Solidarity, that's one of them, and also an organization that I'm a part of. As you see, the hat says the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition. Get with us. Let's talk. Let's talk about doing more work in the community, because my brain is always racing. When I witnessed what I witnessed on Saturday, and when I witnessed what I witnessed on August 31st, it made me realize that wow, there's so much work we can do, and there's so much work that has been done. But it's the consistency, it's the continuity of carrying on that responsibility. Right? You heard me say it before, and I'm gonna have to say it again, and I'm gonna have to say it even more after I say it. But the proper respect, or the highest level of respect to show somebody that you really respect, is your deeds, your practice. We honor those who came before us, those who stood for real change through doing work, through actually putting ourselves on the front line to do this work. This is not no easy task. People think that all you got to do is get a permit. Yeah, all you got to do is do X, Y, and Z. Yes, but you still have to control what's being said and make sure your security is tight and monitoring the actions of the participants. Because believe it or not, there are those who are coming there to disrupt what you're there to do. And your security has to be on point and be willing to take the task of confronting those who want to bring disturbance amongst a peaceful, organized group, a group that's very serious about the work to free U.S. held political prisoners, a group that understands their role and their responsibility as it relates to our political prisoners. Yes, when we talk about our political prisoners, we're talking about those who understood the relationship between people and power, those who understood that every community, every nation, every group of people has the right to be self-determined, meaning that we have the right to control our own destiny. And that means that we got to put ourselves on the front line. That means we got to do some serious studying, serious personal political education. That's why, when we come on this platform, right, when we air our episodes, we always want to have our publications available. This is a publication that I'm happy that I was able to pick up at Curb Fest, right? It says Rebuild, a new African independence movement periodical. And this is the fall/summer 2024. Very interesting material. I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to observe it. Can't wait to digest it intellectually so that I can share with others who might not be privy to that information. Because it's nothing like having our own publications, our own media. That's why I encourage as many people as possible. Start your own platform. Start your own podcast. Do what you need to do to raise consciousness about political prisoners and let people know that they're not terrorists. They're not criminals. They're professional organizers. They are people who know the task at hand, people who are willing to actually do the work, who said that they're not going to accept what they've been taught to accept as something normal, as something that's okay. No, it's not okay for Black people to be killed by police. It's not okay for our political prisoners to die in prison. That's not okay. But if it's truly not okay, what are you doing about it? See, you can't just have a question and an answer without no planned action, right? That means that you really are not serious about what's at hand, that you out there just saying things that sound nice, just wanting to be accepted as a person who's quote unquote smart. You're not serious about what you need to really be serious about. But the Curb Fest and the Vegan Fest, that taught me the seriousness of organizing, that I'm not alone. There's others that feel like I do. And that was very inspiring to see a brother like Sugar Ray do what he does, to see an organization like Holla and Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition and other organizations be there, come together, resources, information, accept responsibilities. Jamal Joseph, he had his dancers there dancing. There was an incredible singer. I apologize for not knowing her name. There was a number of singers there, and just the just the skill of the singers and the commitment to perform for their people and let their people know that at this particular time, whether I'm doing it for free or not, I'm going to give you the best performance I can give you. I'm going to get the attention of the community because, believe it or not, the community's talking about what's being said. They're organizing ideas in their mind. Yes, in this world we live in, there's many of distractions. People are struggling with a number of things. And that's why when I think about Curb Fest and then think about Vegan Fest, it's bittersweet. Sweet because it got done and it has an impact. But, the bitter part is that in a week or so, people are going to move on to other things because of the intensity of distractions. But what we can do is what we can do, but we got to be encouraged to do more. We got to be encouraged to, we got a taste of power, right? We got to get a whole meal of power. And from that, we got to get a whole feast of power and properly digest that concept of power until it's permanently ours. That's how we have to relate to power. We have to be continuous in our pursuit of it, and we can't accept anything less. So let us continue to organize our people. Let us continue to accept our role, our responsibility in our community. Share the information. Join the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition. If you're a writer, write. If you're a musician, make music. If you're an actor, take some roles that involve the life of political prisoners, and make sure you give your all to that. And if you're a painter, paint a picture. Find out where you can get a mural, and if you need some backing after you find a place where you could get a mural in terms of funding, call me. Let's put our heads together and see what we can do. Right? I'm a man that has relationships with different organizations in terms of the acquisition of resources, and I'm ready to extend my hand to people who are actually very serious about doing this work, because we need to know that we're not alone. We need to know that we have support. We need to take our roles serious, our responsibilities serious, and not pass it on to another generation. Mumia has been incarcerated for over 40 years. That should deeply concern us. Uh, for Reverend Joy Powell, she's been incarcerated for over 16 years, or is it 17 years? I forgot, but she's been incarcerated for all these years, and she over a decade and a half. And that's what I'm absolutely sure about. And that should bother us because she was framed for being an organizer, for standing up to police brutality. What are we going to do about that? How are we going to respond to that? What does it mean to us, first and foremost, right? Before you can even say what are you going to do about something, you got to ask, what does it mean to you? And that's where political education comes in, right? That's where political education comes in. We are our own liberators. We got to keep that in mind. Incredible talent, an incredible title from an incredible talent, Jalil Abdul Muta King. Get that book. Make sure you share it. Make sure you read it as a family and ask questions amongst family. Have political education at home, and then expand it wherever you can. Commit time to that. Let others know about what you've been reading. Exchange ideas, and from those ideas, take it to your community. Take it to your people. You'd be surprised with what some people know. And then do what you need to do to control your community's destiny. You have the power to control your own culture. You have the power to do that. And it was done August 31st at Vegan Fest in Queensbridge, and it was done this past Saturday in Crown Heights at 406 Ujamaa Health Food. And let's support those businesses that are supporting the Black community, like Ujamaa Health Food at 406 Utica. We need to take note of those businesses that do that. Too many businesses function in our community, take from the money from our community and put it in their own community. So they're building up our community, their community, while our community is stagnant. So let's deal with that. But that might be another topic for another time. And those who are curious more about that particular idea, feel free to call me and let's talk. Let's talk about what we need to do. Because don't call me just to be talking, because I have other things to do. Let's talk about organizing. Because if you're not talking about organizing, then you really wasting precious time. And we don't have enough time to waste, right? And many of us have wasted enough time as it is. So we need to value the time that we have left. We need to come together. We need to organize. We need to stand in solidarity. We need to decide that political prisons are worth fighting for. We need to really, really process that idea and share the ideas with others. Political prisoners have done time for us. We need to make time for them. Let's let our community know that we have the power that we thought we didn't have. We actually have it. But it's going to require discipline, focus, commitment, and just setting aside our differences and deciding that we're going to participate in the fight. For those who are tuning in right now, I'd just like to spend some time to ask you to share. Please share with at least 10 people. Please share, please share, please share. Hit the like button. I like to know who's viewing me, who's viewing the platform. And, with that being said, don't let political prisoners die in prison. Y'all know what to call. Free them all.